My beloved child, there are moments in life that seem ordinary on the surface, yet behind the scenes, something meaningful is quietly unfolding. Today, I want you to listen carefully, because this message carries a warmth that may touch your heart in a special way. Someone close to your heart may have recently heard wonderful things about you. Not rumors. Not exaggerated stories. But sincere words spoken with honesty, respect, and admiration. The kind of words that stay in a person's mind long after the conversation has ended. Think about that for a moment. While you were focused on your daily responsibilities, while you were handling your challenges and moving through your routine, your name may have been mentioned in a conversation that you know nothing about. And what makes this moment remarkable is not that your name was spoken. It is the way it was spoken. With appreciation. With kindness. With genuine respect. There is someone who has been paying closer attention to your character than you realize. They have noticed your patience when others were rushing. They have noticed your strength when situations became difficult. They have noticed your ability to keep moving forward even when nobody was applauding your efforts. These qualities often go unseen by the person who possesses them, yet they leave a lasting impression on those who observe from a distance. Now imagine someone hearing these positive things about you for the very first time. Imagine them listening as another person describes your kindness, your determination, your honesty, or the way you make others feel valued. Imagine their curiosity growing with every sentence. Imagine them realizing that there is more to you than they previously understood. Sometimes a single conversation can change the way someone sees another person. A few sincere words can open a door that was previously closed. A heartfelt compliment can create a new level of appreciation. And what makes this even more powerful is that these moments often happen when we least expect them. Many people spend years trying to convince others of their worth. Yet the most meaningful recognition often arrives when you are not trying to prove anything at all. It arrives naturally. Quietly. Through the experiences and observations of people who have witnessed your journey. The truth about your character begins speaking on your behalf. There is a reason this message found you today. It is a reminder that your actions matter. Every kind word, every thoughtful gesture, every moment when you chose integrity over convenience has been creating a story about who you are. And stories travel farther than most people realize. Someone close to your heart may now be looking at you through a different lens. They may be reflecting on what they recently heard. They may be connecting pieces they never connected before. They may be recognizing qualities in you that deserve far more appreciation than they have received. The beautiful part is that you do not need to chase this moment. You do not need to force anything. The truth has a remarkable way of finding the people who need to hear it. Authenticity has a way of reaching hearts. Genuine character has a way of becoming visible, even across distances. As you continue listening, keep this thought close to your heart. Sometimes the most important changes begin with a conversation you never even knew happened. Sometimes a positive word spoken in the right moment can start a chain of events that gradually transforms a relationship, a connection, or an opportunity. Right now, someone may be thinking about you more deeply than before. Not because of what you claim to be, but because of what others have genuinely experienced from you. They are seeing a fuller picture. A clearer picture. A picture that reveals qualities worth admiring. And this may only be the beginning. Because when sincere appreciation reaches the right ears, it often leads to reflection. Reflection leads to understanding. Understanding leads to new possibilities. Possibilities that can surprise even the people involved. So stay with this message for a little longer. There is more to uncover. The story is still unfolding. What was recently heard about you may be creating a ripple effect that has not fully revealed itself yet. The admiration, respect, and appreciation surrounding your name may be traveling farther than you imagine. And as this journey continues, you may soon discover that the wonderful things spoken about you were not merely words. They were the beginning of something meaningful. A remarkable detail is beginning to emerge, and it is something very few people ever get the chance to realize. The wonderful things that were spoken about you were not shared casually. They were shared with conviction. They came from someone who had witnessed your character closely enough to speak with confidence. And the person who heard those words did not simply listen and move on. Those words stayed with them. Think about how rare that is. In a world where conversations come and go every day, certain words have the power to linger. Certain stories have the power to remain in someone's thoughts long after the conversation has ended. What was said about you may have become one of those unforgettable stories. The person close to your heart may have expected to hear something ordinary. They may have expected a simple description, a passing comment, or a brief observation. Instead, they heard something that caused them to pause. Something that made them think. Something that made them wonder whether they had truly understood the depth of who you are. Perhaps they heard about your kindness during a difficult moment. Perhaps they heard about your patience when circumstances tested you. Perhaps they heard about your ability to encourage others when nobody was encouraging you. Whatever was shared, it carried a weight that could not be ignored. And here is what makes this moment even more meaningful. The words were not focused on what you own. They were not focused on your status. They were not focused on temporary achievements. They were focused on qualities that come from within. The kind of qualities that cannot be purchased, copied, or imitated. The kind of qualities that reveal the true nature of a person. As those words were spoken, something may have begun changing inside the listener's heart. They may have started seeing your journey differently. They may have started recognizing the quiet strength that has always existed within you. They may have realized that there is far more to your story than they previously understood. Sometimes people know your name without knowing your value. Sometimes they see your presence without seeing your impact. Sometimes they hear your voice without hearing the wisdom behind it. Then one conversation changes everything. That conversation may have already happened. The fascinating part is that you may never know exactly when it happened. You may never know the precise moment your name entered the discussion. Yet the effect of those words could already be moving through someone's thoughts right now. Imagine someone replaying those statements in their mind. Imagine them remembering specific compliments. Imagine them reflecting on details that surprised them. Imagine them realizing that every positive thing they heard matches the person they have gradually come to know. This is why genuine character is so powerful. It continues working even when you are absent. It speaks for you when you are not in the room. It creates opportunities that you never asked for and opens doors you never expected. And there is another layer to this story. The person who heard those wonderful things about you may have started paying closer attention. They may have begun noticing details they previously overlooked. Small things. Meaningful things. The way you treat people. The way you respond to challenges. The way you continue moving forward despite obstacles. These observations often become the foundation for deeper respect. Respect grows quietly. Admiration grows quietly. Appreciation grows quietly. Yet their impact can become enormous over time. What started as a simple conversation may now be influencing how this person feels whenever your name appears in their thoughts. They may find themselves smiling unexpectedly. They may find themselves becoming curious about your future. They may find themselves wanting to understand your journey more deeply than ever before. The most beautiful part is that none of this required you to prove yourself. None of this required a performance. None of this required you to become someone else. It happened because your authentic qualities reached someone through the words of another person. And that is a rare gift. Many people spend years trying to build an image. Yet genuine admiration is built through consistent actions. Through honesty. Through kindness. Through perseverance. Through moments that often seem insignificant at the time but become unforgettable in memory. The story surrounding your name is still unfolding. Every day adds another chapter. Every choice adds another detail. Every act of kindness adds another reason for people to remember you positively. The person close to your heart may now be seeing those chapters more clearly than ever before. They may be discovering pieces of your story they never knew existed. They may be understanding why others speak so highly of you. And if that is happening, then something meaningful is taking place beneath the surface. A deeper understanding. A stronger appreciation. A clearer recognition of your worth. The journey is not finished yet. In fact, it may only be beginning. Because when sincere words reach the right ears, they often create lasting impressions that continue growing over time. What was heard about you may be echoing in someone's heart even now, shaping their thoughts in ways you cannot yet see. And as this story continues, one thing becomes increasingly clear: the wonderful things spoken about you were not accidental. They were earned through the person you have chosen to become. And that truth carries a quiet power that can leave a lasting impact on anyone fortunate enough to hear it. An unexpected realization is beginning to take shape, and this part of the story may be the most powerful yet. Sometimes people hear good things about someone and quickly forget them. But sometimes the words are so genuine, so consistent, and so meaningful that they create a lasting impression. This appears to be one of those rare moments. The person close to your heart may have heard more than a compliment. They may have heard a pattern. A pattern of kindness. A pattern of strength. A pattern of integrity that appeared again and again through different stories, different experiences, and different observations. When one person speaks positively about someone, it attracts attention. But when multiple qualities begin forming a clear picture, something remarkable happens. The listener starts seeing that person in a completely different light. That may be exactly what is happening now. The image they once had of you may be expanding. Details they never noticed before may suddenly seem important. Moments they once overlooked may now carry new meaning. Small interactions that appeared ordinary may now appear extraordinary. There is something fascinating about discovering the true depth of another person. Most people reveal only a fraction of who they are to the world. Their struggles remain hidden. Their sacrifices remain hidden. Their quiet victories remain hidden. Yet every now and then, someone gains access to a clearer picture. And when that happens, respect often grows. The person close to your heart may now be realizing that your journey contains far more strength than they originally understood. They may be recognizing that your smile carried courage. That your patience carried wisdom. That your persistence carried determination. These discoveries are powerful because they feel real. Nothing influences the heart quite like authenticity. People are drawn to sincerity because it stands out in a world full of temporary impressions. Genuine character cannot be manufactured. It reveals itself naturally over time. And the stories they heard about you may have revealed exactly that. Imagine someone sitting quietly after a conversation ends. The room becomes silent, but their thoughts remain active. Certain words continue replaying in their mind. Certain descriptions continue capturing their attention. Certain details continue making them wonder about the person they have been thinking about. That is the kind of impact sincere admiration can create. The truth is that many people underestimate the influence they have on others. They assume their efforts go unnoticed. They assume their kindness is forgotten. They assume their positive actions disappear without recognition. But that is rarely the case. The smallest acts often leave the deepest impressions. A thoughtful word. A helping hand. A moment of encouragement. A display of patience. These moments seem small while they are happening, yet they become unforgettable memories for the people who experience them. And those memories become stories. Those stories become conversations. Those conversations become impressions. Those impressions begin shaping the way people see you. The person close to your heart may now be connecting all those pieces together. They may be seeing evidence of qualities they always suspected existed within you but never fully understood. And here is what makes this so meaningful. The admiration they are developing is not based on appearances. It is not based on temporary circumstances. It is based on something far more valuable. Character. Character creates trust. Character creates respect. Character creates lasting appreciation. These are foundations that remain strong regardless of changing circumstances. The person who heard wonderful things about you may now be recognizing the value of those foundations. They may be understanding why people speak highly of you. They may be realizing why your presence leaves a positive impact on those around you. What makes this even more interesting is that you may not be aware of any of it. While you continue living your life, while you continue moving through your daily routine, these thoughts may already be growing in someone's mind. A new appreciation. A deeper understanding. A stronger connection to the truth of who you are. Some of the most important developments happen quietly. They happen beneath the surface. They happen before anyone speaks about them openly. They happen while the story is still unfolding. And this story is still unfolding. Every day creates new opportunities for people to discover your value. Every interaction creates another chance for your character to shine. Every choice you make adds another layer to the reputation that continues traveling ahead of you. The person close to your heart may now be standing at a point where admiration is becoming understanding. Where understanding is becoming appreciation. Where appreciation is becoming something even deeper. Not because of a single dramatic event. Not because of one extraordinary moment. But because the truth about who you are has been revealed through consistent actions over time. That kind of truth is powerful. It cannot be forced. It cannot be rushed. It simply reveals itself when the time is right. And perhaps that time is now. As the story continues moving forward, remember this: some of the most meaningful shifts begin with a conversation that seemed ordinary in the moment. And if they have, then something truly meaningful is already in motion. The impact of those words is still expanding. The impression they created is still growing. And the person who heard them may be seeing you more clearly than ever before. A quiet transformation may be happening right now, and it is more powerful than most people realize. Not because someone made a grand announcement. Not because a dramatic event suddenly appeared. But because the wonderful things spoken about you have continued working long after the conversation ended. Some words disappear the moment they are spoken. Other words grow stronger with time. The words spoken about you may belong to the second kind. The person close to your heart may have replayed that conversation more than once. Certain details may have stood out. Certain descriptions may have remained unforgettable. Certain observations may have revealed a side of you they had never fully seen before. That is how meaningful understanding begins. It begins quietly. It begins naturally. It begins when someone starts looking beyond the surface. Many people spend their entire lives hoping to be understood. Yet true understanding often arrives unexpectedly. It arrives when someone finally sees the qualities that were present all along. The person who heard wonderful things about you may now be seeing those qualities more clearly than ever. Perhaps they are remembering moments they once overlooked. Perhaps they are connecting experiences that never made sense before. Perhaps they are realizing that your actions have always revealed more about your character than your words ever could. There is something extraordinary about being appreciated for who you truly are. Not for appearances. Not for temporary success. Not for circumstances. But for your heart, your character, and the way you treat people. That kind of appreciation creates a lasting impact. As time passes, people often forget impressive achievements. They forget possessions. They forget titles. Yet they rarely forget how someone made them feel. And the stories shared about you may have reminded someone of exactly that. They may now understand why people trust you, why people respect you, why people enjoy being around you, why your presence leaves a positive impression. These realizations are not small. They are significant. Because once someone begins seeing your value clearly, it becomes difficult to ignore. The conversation that introduced these wonderful things about you may have ended, but its influence continues. Every reflection strengthens the impression. Every memory reinforces the understanding. Every observation confirms what was already heard. And that creates something powerful. Confidence. Confidence in what kind of person you are. Confidence in the qualities you possess. Confidence in the authenticity that defines your character. The person close to your heart may now be reaching that stage. A stage where admiration is no longer based on assumptions. A stage where appreciation is supported by evidence. A stage where respect feels completely natural. What makes this moment even more meaningful is that it developed organically. Nothing was forced. Nothing was manufactured. The truth simply revealed itself. And truth has a remarkable ability to stand on its own. The more people encounter it, the stronger it becomes. The more people witness it, the clearer it becomes. The more people understand it, the more impossible it becomes to overlook. That may be exactly why this story matters. Because it reminds you that genuine character always leaves a trail. People notice more than they say. People remember more than they reveal. People appreciate more than they express. And sometimes those hidden thoughts become life-changing realizations. The person close to your heart may now be carrying one of those realizations. A realization that your journey contains depth. A realization that your kindness carries influence. A realization that your presence matters. These discoveries often create a new perspective. Suddenly, past interactions appear more meaningful. Past conversations seem more important. Past moments gain new significance. Everything begins fitting together. The pieces form a clearer picture. And that picture reveals someone worthy of admiration. Someone worthy of appreciation. Someone worthy of respect. That person is you. As this story continues unfolding, remember that your greatest qualities often shine brightest when you are not trying to prove anything. They shine through consistency. They shine through authenticity. They shine through the quiet decisions that define who you are. The wonderful things spoken about you may have simply revealed what was already there. A strong heart. A sincere spirit. A character built through experience, perseverance, and kindness. The person who heard those words may now be seeing all of that more clearly than ever before. And perhaps that is the real surprise. Not that wonderful things were said, but that the truth behind those words was even greater than expected. The journey is still moving forward. The impression is still growing. The understanding is still deepening. And somewhere within all of this, a stronger appreciation may be taking root in a heart that recently heard something unforgettable about you. What began as a conversation has become something more. A realization. A recognition. A deeper understanding of your value. And as the next chapter approaches, one thing becomes increasingly clear: the wonderful things spoken about you were never just compliments. They were reflections of a character that continues inspiring people, even when you are completely unaware of the impact you are making.